Hello, traders. FX Pip Collector here. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, and this is my morning market breakdown of the US dollar pairs, including gold, and we also look at a couple of the yen pairs. As always, we start off with the dollar index because that's basically our roadmap to tell us what to do on the other dollar pairs themselves. So, anyways, like I've been saying, I still think the most likely scenario over the next several weeks is that we're going to make a very overlapping corrective pattern which should be a pullback to this move down. I think this first move is more than likely an A. This is a B, and then it's eventually going to go down again for a C. And this all would be an ABC of B before it ended up making another big impulsive move up like this first impulsive move, which I think is an ABC of Y. But if you've been following along with my videos, you know that I have an alternative count, which is that this is possibly the end of a running ABC. Three ways of A, three ways of B, three waves of C, lower low wave B, lower low wave C, and then it just ends up making lower lows, lower highs. It just keeps on going down. So if this is the end of an ABC crescent, then it will just be lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and it will just keep on trending. So two very different analysis, which is very common, but at least we will know what to look out for. So going down to the 1 hour time frame, we definitely do have a breaker structure. We definitely do have a nice little pullback here. We got a nice little 50% fib bounce. I'm hoping that this now starts a move to the upside and this proves itself to be a big wave A of wave B. Because if we really are in a wave B on the daily time frame, then we should make a 5 wave uptrend for the wave A of B. If we're not in a wave B on the higher time frames, and this is actually just a pullback within a downtrend, then more than likely it will not be a 1, 2, 3, but it will be an ABC, which is definitely a difference than a 1, 2, 3, and it will end up looking more like that and later on continuing the downtrend. So really we need to try to determine whether we get a wave 3 or whether we get a wave C, and that's going to tell us a lot about what the daily time frame is actually doing. So we definitely want to take this information, either wave 3 or wave C, and we want to apply it to the dollar pairs themselves. So moving on to the euro dollar, heading back up to the daily time frame. Euro dollar definitely did engulf to the downside, did make a little bit of a turn. This is definitely a pretty big area of resistance. The question is are we making a big pullback like the dollar index, a wave B or a wave 2, like I showed on the dollar? Or are we just going to make a little pullback within an uptrend, just a pullback to this last wave and then just continue up? So that's the big question right now. Big pullback to the whole move or just little pullback to the last wave? Going down to the 1 hour time frame, I mean, I was kind of hoping that this right here was the end of a pullback and this thing was potentially just going to keep on going down. Like I said, I'm hoping this turns into a 1, 2, 3. If it's not a 1, 2, 3 of wave A, which would be an A, B, C of B or an A, B, C of 2 on the daily, then potentially it would have to be, an A, B, C, end up looking more like this, a very overlapping pattern. So if it turns into a very slow, very overlapping pattern, then we know that eventually it's probably going to lead to a break to the upside, and eventually it's going to end up continuing the uptrend. If it continues to maintain impulsive movement like this, then that's more the shape of a 1, 2, 3, which would, I think, help confirm that this is a wave A of B or a wave A of 2 on the daily time frame. So anyways, moving on to the pound dollar, back up to the daily time frame, basically the exact same thing. And all of these analysis are based on my one US dollar analysis. So the question is are we just in a pullback to this last wave, making a small pullback and then continuing up? Or are we in a much larger pullback to the whole move like this, either a wave B or a wave 2, like I showed on the dollar index? There is really no way to know except for paying attention on the sort of time frames. Because if we are making a bigger pullback, that means that we're actually only in a 1, 2, 3 of A. So this would be a 1, this would be a 2, and it would potentially would just keep on going down impulsively for a wave 3. That would be a 1, 2, 3 of A. If it's not doing that, but instead it turns into a very overlapping pattern, it starts doing something like this, then that's not the shape of a 1, 2, 3. That's the shape of an ABC pullback, and that would eventually lead to a break to the upside and another wave to the upside, most likely at one of these red Fibonacci retracement levels for the daily time frame. So anyways, moving on to the Aussie dollar. And like I said, all of these analysis are based on the one analysis, which is my dollar index analysis. So the question on the Aussie dollar is, are we making a pullback to just this little wave right here? You know, maybe just a 38, 50% pullback and then it continues up? Or are we making a bigger pullback that's going to last potentially several weeks like this before it ends up leading to another move to the upside? We don't know, but we are definitely bearish right now while we hopefully learn and earn. Going down to the sort of time phase, I mean, a lot of the dollar pairs do look like they might end up pushing up one more time. I was hoping that this was the end of a pullback on all the dollar pairs, and this was just going to be not an ABC, but I was hoping it was just going to turn into a 1, 2, 3 like I drew on all the other dollar pairs like this. If it's a 1, 2, 3, then it's a 1, 2, 3 of A. If it's not a 1, 2, 3, that means it's some sort of a pullback like an ABC. And if it starts making, overlapping patterns over the next several days, then we know that that's likely a pullback and it's likely going to bounce off one of these red Fibonacci levels and most likely end up continuing the higher time frame trend, meaning that it was just a pullback to the last wave. It wasn't a big wave B or a big wave 2 like I was drawing on the US dollar index. So moving on to the dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is a little different. The dollar CAD has actually been very, very weak. Let's go to here. The dollar CAD did just recently break some structure too. Very strong move to the downside. I mean, this very much looks like an ABC correction, and if it is an ABC correction, it might just be making little pullbacks and continuation patterns. So we are definitely very bearish the dollar CAD. There's no doubt about that. Yesterday, I had my Fibonacci retracement from here to here. That was a perfect Fibonacci bounce. Now that was a nice entry to go short, but that's already passed. Now we have our Fibonacci retracement from here to here. We're looking for resistance at Fibonacci levels, especially if we make three waves up. Three ways up to a Fibonacci retracement level, nice engulfing to the downside, especially if it breaks to the downside, is exactly what I'm looking for more sorting opportunities. I mean, until we at least get a break of structure, which would be way up here, or we get like a nice engulfing move to the upside on the daily time frame, there's really no reason to think that anything to the upside is anything more than just a pullback within a downtrend. The trend is definitely your friend. Moving on to the US dollar Swiss, basically the same thing. The dollar Swiss really very much looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, I mean, it really does seem like it needs to do this, make a pullback to this whole move. But it doesn't have to do that. Just because it looks like it wants to do that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. And this right here definitely looks like it's a wave C, not a wave 3. And if it's a wave C, it potentially could just keep on making lower lows, lower highs. So we can't assume that the dollar needs to go up because the dollar doesn't really need to do anything. Going down to the 1 hour time frame, I mean, yesterday we had our Fibonacci retracement from here to here. Yesterday I was saying that I thought it potentially was going to break up, but it didn't. It made another lower high. It made it engulfing down. Nice little entry to go short. There was actually a couple chances for you to get short right there. And now that entry is over, so now it's going back up. We need to put our Fibonacci retracer from here to here. We need to assume this move up could just be a pullback to this move down. If it goes to a Fibonacci retracement level, if it makes an engulfing move to the downside, I would definitely continue to short it. And if it goes up and breaks structure, then that would turn me bullish. But it hasn't broken structure, and I'm not going to assume that it's going to break structure until it actually does. And the daily is down and the weekly is down. So we will definitely continue to look for shorts on pullbacks. Moving on to gold. Gold has been very rangy lately on the higher time frames for sure. Um, I still think that gold is going to go up more. I still think that it's going to go up into this area, and it could even go up into this area. I'm targeting probably someplace around the 5,200 because there's a nice Fibonacci level there. It could be the 161.8, which is right around maybe the 5,150 area also. But most wave A's do at least go near the structure of the wave B or even break the structure of the wave B. So I'm definitely still very bullish on gold. I still think we're in a wave A. And I think eventually this is going to make a B and then another big uptrend for a C. I think we're in an ABC of B, which would likely be a big triangle, A, B, C, D, E, or we're in a ABC of X, which would be a WXY, or possibly even a WXYXZ pattern on the weekly time frame. So anyways, moving down to the 1 hour time frame, like I always say, gold really does love these expanding patterns. I mean, that right there could be an expanding ABC. It actually very much looks like it could be an expanding ABC. We're sitting right at the 61%, so if it maintains impulsive movement, it may actually, end up continuing the uptrend. I personally am definitely doing nothing but looking for logs. I would not do anything except for look for logs unless it went all the way down and broke this low. If it breaks that low, then okay, maybe we could, justify looking for shorts. But as of right now, anything you see to the downside, you kind of need to assume it's just a pullback within an uptrend because the weekly is up, the daily is up. Elliot wave analysis is still telling us to look for logs. There's no big engulfing on the daily. There's no lower high on the daily. There's no break of structure on the daily. The trend is very, very much up on basically every single time frame. So anything you see to the downside, you do need to assume is likely just a pullback within an uptrend. So use your Fibonacci retracement as areas of support and look for nice little fib bounces, nice engulfing moves to the upside for more entries to go long. Moving on to the yen pairs. Last couple of days, I've been saying I think that the yen, actually for a while now, I've been saying I think the yen is going to go up into this area because that's a weekly time frame Fibonacci level that never got hit. I still think that it's going to potentially keep going up to about 161. I think it's going to sweep all the highs. Too many people think that the dollar yen has found a top. And normally, when everybody thinks there's a top end, the market will sweep the highs again to make sure it stops everybody out before it actually does end up making its real move. So I think it's going to go up again. Yesterday, we had our Fibonacci retracement from here to here. And I said we should be looking for logs. 1, 2, 3 way pullbacks, 38% fib bounce, and golf and move to the upside. Did anybody get long right there? There was a chance to get long in the Asian session, and there was a chance to get long pre-London session. I definitely wouldn't really be trying to go long now. Unfortunately, now we would have to wait for another pullback. Hopefully, it goes up and breaks this high, and then maybe makes another pullback and then gives us another opportunity to go long, whether it happens today or whether it happens tomorrow. Probably more likely a chance that it will happen tomorrow, but we are definitely looking for longs in an uptrend still. Hopefully, we're heading all the way up to about 161 on this one. Moving on to the euro yen. I mean, the euro yen technically is telling us to look for shorts. Whether we're in a pullback to this last wave and it just goes to like a fib level and then just continues the uptrend, or whether it's actually the end of a wave B, we don't know. If it's the end of a wave B, then it needs to be impulsive. It needs to make lower lows, lower highs on this daily time frame. If it does anything besides this, then we know that the wave B is not over, and we know that it's probably a pullback within an uptrend. So going down to the 1 hour time frame, technically we should still be looking for shorts, which is why I got my Fibonacci retracement on here. I said the same thing yesterday, but a lot of times I don't really think people understand that I'm not a short time frame trader. So when I say I'm looking for shorts, sometimes you might have to wait, 2 days for an entry. I don't even have anything below the 30-minute time frame on my chart for a reason because I don't look at the short time frames at all. So when I say I'm looking for shorts, I'm okay waiting a couple of days for an entry. I'm still waiting for an entry. If it goes to the 61%, breaks to the downside, that's my entry. Now, for the very short time frame traders, it still hasn't broken to the downside, has it? So if it just keeps on going up and up and up and up and up, why would you be looking for shorts? Ever since it started making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, scalpers should be looking for longs. Day traders and more swing traders like me are still waiting for Fibonacci bounces and more shorting opportunities. I still think there's a very good likelihood that this is going to make a lower high, and I think it's going to potentially end up going down. Same exact analysis on the pound yen. If this really is the end of a wave B, then this will be impulsive on the daily. It will make lower lows, lower highs, probably go all the way down and take out all these lows. If it's not the end of a wave B, that means it's going to be a corrective pattern, slow moving, overlapping, probably going to a Fibonacci retracement level and then continuing up again. So that's what I try to take it one wave at a time. I try not to force my analysis on the market. It's either going to make impulsive movement or it's going to make corrective movement. And if we leave our mind open for interpretation, we can hopefully decide as we go what it does. Going down to the 1 hour time frame, like I said yesterday, exactly the same thing. Still looking for shorts. Yesterday, it never broke to the downside. It turned right there, but it never broke structure. Turned right there, but it never broke structure. It turned right here, but it never broke any structure. So we are still watching our Fibonacci retracement levels closely. If it turns, if it breaks structure, then that's the confirmation that it's likely going back down. If it just goes up, bounces, doesn't break, bounces, doesn't break, then you would just continue to look for longs if you're a short time frame trader. Like I said, I'm not a short time frame trader. I don't look at anything below the 30-minute time frame. I think the reason why up to 95% of traders lose money in the markets is because they're looking at such a short time frame and they're not taking into consideration the longer time frames. Now, don't get me wrong, I do know some scalpers that make a lot of money, but the scalpers I know that make a lot of money, they trade the very, very short time frames based on their higher time frame analysis. So the higher time frame analysis is extremely important, even if you are a very, very short time frame trader. So anyways, don't forget to check out my website, fxpipcollector.com, especially if you want to follow along with all my trades and you want to be part of a great trading community on Discord. And as always, thank you for watching and happy trading to everyone.